There are certain moments in your life that you come to the point of realizing that you're not all that you wanted to be, and certainly not all that you could be. Some days when I wake up, I realize that there's this huge message and bouncing around in my heart and head saying, you haven't even begun to explore what you can do. You know what you have done, but you haven't explored yet what you can do. And so I take the time to connect with the angels and ask them to show me what it is that they're referring to, and to shed light on the topic that's been rumbling around in my head, possibly in my dreams the night before, as a reminder that we can be more than we are. And I just wanted to take some time today to say to everyone that listens to this that there are those little moments in life when you realize that maybe you stepped back instead of stepping up. The turmoil that our world is in right now is discomforting, to say the least, and it creates such fear in us that we hesitate to step out, not knowing what the end result of that might be. And in that state of fear, we get to the point of we stop taking risks. And then what that means is that we become stagnant. And when we become stagnant because of fear or doubt or lack of self-confidence, then we begin to lose ourselves. We begin to not understand that the greatest responsibility that we have is to ourselves, to be the best that we can possibly be, to grow to the extent that is beyond anything we ever would have conceived, to understand that we are only beginning in this, in finding out, with all of the energies that are coming into our planet right now and into our hearts and minds and into every person around us, to understand that there is this incredible force that is pushing us forward into something that we can be, that we have never explored before. It may sound cliche to have someone say to you, know thyself. And a lot of us are afraid to even know who we are because we have a darker nature, and there's nothing that we can do about that other than to circumvent it and to do whatever we can to be the best that we can to live in light. It's part of our nature to have that side, because in that too, like everything else in our universe, that creates balance. If we didn't have the darker side, we wouldn't have to determine, do we prefer the light? We have to make the decision as to where we're going to go and the steps that we're going to take, and not based upon what I or someone else tells you, but on what you know about your own truth. And if you have not ever experienced your own truth, then to know yourself, you're going to have to search for what you have left out. Somewhere along the path, it may have been presented to you, and it may just still be waiting for you. But your truth is there within you. Somehow or another, we move in directions that may be not the best choice for us at that time. But if we look at that and search that direction, we figure out, what did we learn while we were there? Hopefully we learned something. Hopefully we learned, if it wasn't in our best interest, that we don't go and do that again. But I'm not talking about behavior. What I am talking about is your state of being and who you really know that you are. And if you do not know that wondrous being that you came here to become, then it really is time that you take a breath and you step back and you open your arms wide and you embrace everything that the universe would bring to you. Because all it brings to you is loving kindness and peace and joy. We've been taught to believe otherwise. We've been taught to believe that we're constantly judged for everything we do. We've been shown our limitations, not our limitlessness. And I really believe with all my heart that that's changing now. Because everything being presented to me strikes of that. To let go of all of those things that I doubt in myself. To let go of the fear, maybe you don't like my message. And I can accept that, to say, well, maybe my message isn't yours, but do you know what yours is? And until you do, you have to realize that messages are coming to you from a variety of sources now, that you have to find the one that does mean something to you. But if you're not looking for it, if you haven't gone within and really looked at what you have left out of your life, which may have been the primary thing of taking care of you, discovering you, searching you, going deep within inside of you and finding out the beauty and the wonder that really lives and exists in there, and it's swirling in this mass of this incredible energy that sometimes makes you uncomfortable. And if you ignore it, it will make you sick, because it's powerful, because it has to be. If it were weak, and if it just milled around a little bit in you like a mouse running through a maze, trying to find the right place to open the door for you, you would never even acknowledge it. So it comes to you sometimes like a tornadic form, kind of blows your socks off a bit, kind of upends you, puts you in a place where you think, I'm afraid of this. And that's where you know, when you're afraid to explore it, that is probably something within you that really wants to go there, but you just don't know how. You've never been told, you've never been shown, you've been shown your limitations and your inadequacies. Those are easy to find. They're in front of you all the time. They're being pointed out to you when you look at the mirror image of people around you who behave less than adequately. When you see those people who are not looking for something better, but looking to find some way to disrupt what could be better. That seems to be a persistent theme in our world around us now. So our ideal, maybe we haven't even discovered it. Maybe you haven't discovered your ideal. If you're told you're an idealist, then pat yourself on the back, because there aren't many people who are taking a positive approach to life. To know yourself, search for what you have left out. And to do that, you're going to have to find out what you are really interested in, and the steps that you didn't take along the way when you missed a step. You know that you have dreams, and you know that something in your heart is crying out to you to discover your highest and best self, simply because that's why we're here, and that's our destiny, and there's nothing that we can do to escape that other than ignore it, and then just die in poverty and spiritual poverty and dismay, despair. We came here to find our highest and best self in order to make a contribution to the rest of the world that requires its highest and best self. And I see so many people now fearing that their message is inadequate, and I fear so many people are not looking into what they could truly be and become. We don't have any idea what we can become because we've never tried it. And until you do, who knows how great you could be? Who knows how wonderful you could be? And until you can go inside and figure out what steps did I miss and what did I really not see about my wonderful self, you'll never realize that wonderful self. Life isn't a dream, it's a reality, and it's a stark reality, and sometimes it's a hard and hurtful place to be and to live. And sometimes we just as soon opt out, but that's not an option. Not if you want to do something that you were meant to do. Not if you really want to put out that fire within you with cleansing waters of love and kindness and beauty, and becoming the supreme being that you have the capability to do. Water can flow through and put out that fire, and it can quell that into a place of peace, because you know you're taking the right steps. People get depressed when they don't search for their best self. They get depressed when they've lost purpose. They get depressed when they've lost any type of goal, anything that they strive for. And the world around us right now is telling us everything about it that is wrong, everything we're doing wrong. Racism is a problem. Not accepting people is a problem. Everything that we're doing wrong, but nobody's acknowledging all the wonderful things that are happening around us. The divisions are so powerful that we cannot find our oneness. I see that sometimes I struggle with the divisions, and to say to people, it's not about how different we are, that we have to accept the differences. We have to accept our sameness, our oneness, and stop acknowledging all of the differences that are shoving us all apart and driving a wedge in between all of us. We all just need to just be ourself. But you have to be your best self. You can't just say, this is who I am, and you have to accept me for that. Otherwise, you're wrong. I don't agree with that. If you wanted to present to me yourself and your highest and best self, or that you're even striving for it, then I would agree with that. But that best self has to be built on a platform of love and kindness, not anger, animosity, people who think that they deserve something better, they deserve something more, entitlement. What we're entitled to is within us. And when we find that, then we can stop looking outside of ourselves to have someone make us feel like we're okay. And we have that responsibility, and it's growing, and it's getting stronger and stronger with every day. We need to begin to understand our responsibility to ourselves and others, but to the self first, because you can't help others. You can't even have an impact that's positive until you are your best self. So if you don't know who you are, then go back and find out what you left out. What are you missing? What are you interested in? And begin to move wherever you are, because you're never going to be good enough until you are your highest and best self. And that's really a wonderful thing, to know that no matter what, we can set one goal and attain it and get the tremendous rush of accomplishment, of feeling good about ourselves, knowing that we've done something well. And then we set another goal and take the steps to accomplish that. And each time you do that, you will begin to find the things along the way that you left out. And then you will begin to discover that what you left out of that equation was really you. I love you, my friends. Beloveds, you have the answers you seek inside you. Listen to your still small voice. It has a profound message for you. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to listen. I appreciate you taking the time to be one who is concerned about whether or not you are doing what you could be doing, or could we be doing more, and we can always do more. And I love that we have that capability and that capacity. If you're interested in more of what I do, my website is lanajthomas.com. If you enjoy this message, please feel free to share it with others. I would appreciate that. And I appreciate again for you being with me today. Do take care.